In case you hadn't heard, an alien has touched down in the Alamo City.
I realized that I don't even realize I'm a San Antonio Spur. You know, it's just crazy, and I'm just really excited, happy to be here.
He's causing quite a stir.
Yeah, I mean, you look around and you see somebody like that, you know that person has the ability to make your team more successful.
It's a different energy around here. I mean, I think we all know with Victor coming, it's been a different energy in San Antonio. I think we're all just ready to see it.
He's pretty big time, so.
When an extraterrestrial lands in your town, be prepared for hordes of media and curious onlookers.
He's got such high character, and he's used to this. This isn't the first time that he's gotten attention. Let's just roll with it and see what it's like. If there are people hanging on the top of the bus, then we got to get them off.
They know it's going to happen. Of course, there's going to be a lot of attention, but I'm like, yeah, okay, what do we do to get this team better? So it's really stuff we don't care about. It's basketball first.
With that in mind, a promising group of youngsters has been pounding the rock away from the cameras and outside noise.
They have been physical, they've demanded of each other, they've been consistent, and that attitude has really been infectious for everybody.
We've been in the gym. Sometimes the whole team was here. And
we're ready to work. We've been working all summer. We've been going hard for more than half the summer, so.
They got that fire inside of them. Everyone is giving 100%, even in practice, so I'm sure everyone is ready to make sacrifices and just do whatever it takes to win, so I'm really, really confident.
And now that the summer of hard work is over, a new era officially begins.
I'm excited. I feel like my teammates are excited, and we're ready to stir some things up.
We definitely hooping.
We know we're gonna make something original, something special.
Hello and welcome, not just to a fresh episode of State of the Spurs, but to a new era in Spurs basketball. I'm so excited, guys. Nate Ryan, how was your summer, man?
Well, my summer took me around the country. I got a trip to New York City. I got a trip to Las Vegas, obviously the draft, and then subsequential NBA Summer League. I've been tailing around the big man, but it's been a ton of fun and excitement around the Spurs that this city has not seen in it's close to 10 years.
Yeah, no, maybe more. And Vinny, we did one of these at the end of last season. I thought it went well. People said a lot of nice things, but people also said, where's Jeff Garcia and where's Vinny Vanzetta? So I'm happy to say we got them both today.
You know, whenever Tom Petrini calls, I answer that call.
I appreciate that. It's so good to have you here, man. Talk some Spurs basketball. And guys, we're back. I mean, I don't think Spurs basketball has ever been more back. Because when Tim Duncan came, they weren't even there yet. And now they know what the mountaintop is and they know how to get there. And they know that this number one overall pick, Victor Wembanyama, coming in can change everything.
Well, I think it was on lottery night when the Spurs won the lottery that this guy tweeted, "We're so back." Didn't you?
It's the only thing in my
The
vocabulary.
receipts are there,
point.
Petrini. The
Only
receipts
thing
are
in
there.
my vocabulary. We're so back, and you know the fans in this city.
You were
are
in amongst
so
the
excited.
sea of folks over there at the Rue Pub. Those guys were getting their drinks paid for, but
a crazy scene, and just a crazy turn of events for this city who struggled through a really tough Spurs season last year after 5 championships in 2 decades, and now it's time to be back at national prominence. We saw more people at Media Day than I've ever seen in my time covering the team.
You know what I was thinking? I wish I had been here in 1997 to compare and contrast what it was like when Tim Duncan was here compared to Victor getting here. And there was no social media back then. This kid has the weight of the Spurs and NBA world on his shoulders, but you've been around him. I think he's fully prepared to embrace everything that comes with who he's going to be in San Antonio.
Well, the thing about Victor Wembanyama, too, is he wasn't playing college ball. Tim Duncan, the number 1 pick out of Wake Forest. Victor Wembanyama was playing against guys who'd played in the NBA in Europe. He'd playing against 25, 27, 30-year-old guys with NBA-ready bodies in packed gymnasiums for EuroLeague titles. And the thing about him, too, is I think mentally he's in a lot different space than a lot of the college players you see coming in. You really can tell whenever he answers questions at the podiums, he gives really profound answers. every time he's asked a question, there's always, it feels like a 5 to second pause where he really genuinely thinks about his answer. We've heard him, he used the bleep button, I think, a couple times already at the podium, but just very, very casually, not in a malicious way. But the answers he gives, he's much, much more mature than any 19-year-old.
I love the way he talks about stuff. It's simultaneously matter-of-fact and romantic. I don't know how he does it. It's a very French thing. But, you know, he'll say something that sounds so, you know, pedestrian, but then you think about it and it's like, whoa, that was deep. And speaking of which, we got to ask him a few questions at Media Day. Let's hear what he had to say.
This offseason will make a difference, not just for the upcoming season, but the work we've done is going to impact my next few years. I think I learned as much about my body in those past 3 months that I had learned for the past 5 years. I feel very lucky. I know I'm in a good environment from every aspect, you know. Because sometimes in Europe back there, it's like there's some fights between players and coaches, players in front office. Here, everyone works in harmony and everyone is working towards the same goal. I know it's not the same in every franchise, but here, everyone is. I mean, they know how to win these. They've done it before and they want to do it again. So everyone is working towards the same goal. It's just a beautiful harmony. All this is going to be really precious to me, and I know I'm gonna live through incredible things and also obstacles. But I know it's gonna be a beautiful year, and I know I'm forging forever memories right now.
You see, forever memories, like that, it's a simple string of words, but then you think about it and you're like, man, yeah, he really is in one of the most exciting times in his life, getting to know the city of San Antonio. And Nate, you asked him, you've been getting into the breakfast tacos, man. Have you gained weight? And he told you 10, 15 pounds up since he got here. Who can't relate, honestly? I mean, I'm probably up 10, 15 pounds in breakfast tacos and briskets
He's
since I got
19.
here.
I think when I was 19, I was a freshman in college. I think I put on that same amount of weight when I was a freshman in college. So it checks out perfectly. That's for Wembanyama right there.
Yep. And I think one thing that people are really excited to see this season is, 19-year-old rookie phenom, legendary, fresh into the Hall of Fame head coach who's been doing it for, what do you say, Media? 28 years?
Coming up on 28. Yeah.
That's incredible for Greg Popovich. And you can tell that while he is trying to maintain the Spurs values of, it's not about one guy, it's about the team, we're excited every season, all of that stuff. You can tell that he's excited about coaching Victor and about the challenges and opportunities that presents. So.
There is an energy there from Pop and the veterans, albeit young veterans. They believe they have so many interchangeable parts. Like, how is this going to work? That's why this preseason is so critical, because you can change out Victor and Sohan and Keldon and Devin. I mean, there are a world of possibilities here, guys.
You hit it right on the head. I was about to say that Greg Popovich, this training camp and preseason is more important, in my opinion, for the coaches than it is the players, because it's like putting together a puzzle in year 28, unforeseen to a guy who's won more games in NBA history and 5 NBA championships. Where are you going to play Victor Wembanyama? Who's going to bring the ball up the floor? All those things and all those questions, and Greg Popovich mentioned, they're going to be fun problems to solve here moving forward now into the regular season.
It's like Nate tweeted on Media Day when Pop was asked, what do you do with Victor? He said, I have no idea.
No idea.
With a smile, of course.
Let's hear from the coach. Let's hear what he has to say.
He's no different from anybody else. He's got to develop and improve knowledge of the game and some of his skills, just like every other player. So fortunately for us, he's very coachable, he's very intelligent, and that's already begun. He has great maturity for his age. He's a thinking person. He's highly intelligent. He's just a good man. So he hasn't had, nor will he have, any problem blending in and gaining the respect of his teammates or understanding our community and what responsibilities he has there. So I don't spend any moment whatsoever worrying about how he's going to blend in. We'll watch him probably for the next couple of weeks without saying too much of anything to him, just so we understand his idiosyncrasies and the way he plays the game, how his body works, all that sort of thing. Is Wemby going to be a 5? Is he going to be a 4? Is he going to be a 3? Is he going to play alongside Zach? You going to put him in a post? Not. Is he a perimeter player? What is he? Who's he fit best with out there? What should the rotations be? A lot of really cool questions that we'll get to answer.
You know I can bring some help to this team, and the best way for me to help it, and it's to not put me in a box, I think. So he knows it. He's learned to know me, and I'm learning to know him. And it's we know we're gonna make something original, something special.
I think it's different in the sense that there are more pieces that we have to put together to figure out what the whole is going to be. When I look down the bench, there are a whole lot more possibilities at both ends of the floor.
So yeah, it's going to be a challenge for sure for Greg Popovich, but I mean, who else would you want solving those problems than the guy who's got more wins than any coach in NBA history?
For the entire staff as well too. I think my starting lineup to begin the season, the ball handler, the 5 best players on the team, I don't think will be the 5 players that are on the floor on opening night. I think the 5 best players in the team, you go Collins, Wembanyama, Sohan, Vassell, and Keldon Johnson. I think Trey Jones will earn that starting point guard role just because of tempo pushing the ball up the floor. But there's going to be times when you're going to have 5 guys on the floor where none of them is a natural point guard, and that's just the way that the modern game is going. We saw Jeremy Sohan bring the ball up the floor a lot last season. He did a solid job with that. Wembanyama, obviously, as we know, he's not from this planet. He is point guard handles, but a lot of really, really intriguing combinations that the Spurs
You can't start
with.
6 though. So who goes to the bench if you think Trey Jones is?
I think Keldon Johnson will, on opening night, and I think Keldon Johnson will come off the bench as the 6th man.
Interesting, Vinny.
I cannot wait to see rim protection from Zach and Wemby. Can you imagine that? That's sort of David and Tim-esque, if you will. And they have talked about, really, let's be honest here, they were historically bad in defense last year.
Everybody mentioned it media day.
You would just assume by default, because of Victor, they will be better defensively.
And you think about what he opens up from them scheme-wise on defense. Somebody said this offseason, he changes the geography of the court, and it just completely alters the things that are in your tool bag. You can pull out schemes that are built specifically around this one guy who nobody else in the world is like.
I mean, the tall is good, but the length is just off the charts. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
You can't get it over 7'4" easy, that's for sure.
And, he's already making an impression on his new teammates in practice, and we talk to them about other things, but yeah, there were some questions asked about the big fella. Let's see what his new teammates had to say.
Man, honestly, let's just put it this way. I think every game he's gonna do something to where you just turn around and be like, huh? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, sometimes he makes the hoop just look so little, or he does something like, shoot a step back, and you're like, did he really just shoot that? And then he makes it. So y'all are gonna have a great time watching him play this season. It's gonna be fun.
I think he's just a freak of nature. It's not a normal thing to see, someone that tall and move like that and be agile and, be able to come out of nowhere and block a shot or, dunk it from some weird place. But no, yeah, he's done a bunch of stuff that's, like, oh, snap, that's crazy. And then it's gonna carry on this season, next season, and as long as he plays, he's gonna, prove people that he's special. So I think it's exciting for us, for the organization, for the city. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, it's not every day you be in my height that you guard somebody that's like 4 or 5 inches taller than you. So that presents new challenges, and he's just a good player, man. He can do a lot of things. He can really shoot the ball. I think that's a separator. A guy that at his height that can shoot the ball, put it on the floor, pull-ups, threes, all that. And it's definitely not easy to guard. I'm glad that he's on my team this year, for sure. He does a lot of stuff that you don't really see too often. The way he can dunk the ball, he's so close to the rim, looks so easy for him. And he's doing it from weird angles, and his body's contorted in certain ways, but his arm still gets to the rim. it just makes you excited to watch. It's a weapon that we haven't had, and you know, it just adds another dynamic to our offense. And then on the defensive end, yeah, he's just being able to block shots and not having to rotate as far as other people would. He can get there in fewer steps because his arms are so long. He's so tall, and again, it's just super dynamic. It's cool to have for us.